Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Stephen Mangan. In the news this week, on a visit to an airbase, Keir Starmer asks a group of soldiers about the unusual military gesture people keep making when they see him. At a wedding reception in Amsterdam, it looks like they may not be hearing a speech from the best man. And at another spectacular photo op, Ed Davey demonstrates how well a Lib Dem government would hit all its targets. On Ian's team tonight, a comedian who is also part of a Jane Austen-themed improv group. I love Jane Austen, Pride and Prejudice and, you know, all the other ones. Please welcome Rachel Paris. On Paul's team tonight, the leader of the Liberal Democrat Party, who is really looking forward to this evening's contest, as whatever happens, for once, he won't come third. Please welcome Ed Davey, MP. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Paul and Ed, here's yours.
OK, Keir Starmer refusing to wear a chef's hat. He's doling out something there. That's how much economic growth you're going to get next year.
Something for your CV.
Yeah,
yes.
And making a...
There's a mug. And the Prime Minister.
Is this about the civil service, the government and the civil service? Is that in there somewhere?
Yeah, that is exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
What are they doing to the civil service?
Well, they're finding that the civil service isn't as cooperative as they might hope for. What would be your opinion on this, Sir Ed Davey?
Well,
I'm glad you said that, because I think the other thing is... No, go on.
I'm always very careful about talking about the civil service because half of them are Liberal Democrat Party members.
Oh, right.
Though you did blame your civil servants.
No,
didn't
no,
you?
you see...
Over the post office, I think you did.
When for... Well...
I mean, I hate to bring it up this early, but
Yeah, we didn't last long, did we?
You worked out they were lying to everybody earlier than most.
But you didn't.
No, I didn't, no. And I'm really sorry I didn't, and that's why the inquiry is so important.
Yeah, no, I did ask Alan whether I should give you a hard time. Guess what he said? No, he didn't, because he's quite nice. But I asked Lee Castleton, and he said, yeah. It wasn't your finest hour, was it?
Well, I think it wasn't the whole government's finest hour, and that's why the inquiry is so important. And we also need to make sure that compensation is paid.
It's still a scandal, and we started this year with, you know, an ITV drama, and everyone thought, that's great, it's on the telly. That'll be sorted out. And then, of course, it hasn't been.
Are you saying that ITV dramas aren't solving this? Because that's not a world I want to live in.
No.
Yeah.
And I think you'll find Inspector Morse had a very successful hit rate. Solved a lot of things.
Phew.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Anyway, we've got that out the way. I mean, they just got to get on with it, and I think various leaders of other political parties who've got a bit of a record on this should devote themselves to it.
So, is that the answer to the first question?
Now, this is Keir Starmer, isn't it?
Keir Starmer, yeah,
Yeah.
and the civil service.
And the civil service.
Well, in a speech this week, Starmer said too many people in Whitehall are comfortable in the tepid bath of managed decline.
Oh, and now I've got pictures in my mind that I don't want to have.
What have some people been saying Keir Starmer sounds like?
Oh, Trump.
Trump. Trump is the right answer, yeah.
No.
Yes.
In what way?
Well,
Well, he said they were a bunch of pussies and he was going to grab them.
Well...
No, I don't think that's right.
Well, here's what he actually said about shaking it up in Whitehall.
Yeah.
We're going to go for it. We're going to do this. It will be an incredible thing.
Yes!
It's a bit Trumpy,
It is, yeah, it is,
Trumpy.
yeah.
Yeah. What renowned hard man is Keir bringing in to sort things out?
Oh, this is Assad.
He is looking for a job, isn't
Yeah. He hasn't gone, it's just a sideways move.
Yeah.
he? It's actually Roy Keane. Not really, no. It's a Labour MP and the man the Times describe as Keir's enforcer. It's big, bad Pat McFadden. Ooh. Here he is. I mean, he's less bulldog, he's more like a nervous greyhound, isn't he? Sticking with Labour enforcers, what is Rachel Reeves threatening to do?
She wants efficiency.
Cuts.
Not cuts.
Cuts, yeah, cuts.
No, efficiency savings, please.
Efficiency savings.
She's vowed to take an iron fist against waste. How's she going to do all that?
Like all chancellors, you say we're going to cut government inefficiency. All of them do it when they come into power. And then they find that there isn't that much inefficiency. And so they have to make real cuts, which means services and what people voted them in for.
She's already punched up the pensioners.
Yep.
And then the farmers.
Yep.
So watch out.
Right. She's coming after the actors next.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently she's going to spend more money on external experts.
Yeah, these are consultants. The Labour Party said, we're not just going to get consultants in like the Tories to take all the decisions. And then they thought, yeah, let's get them in. You wouldn't do that, would you?
No, definitely not.
No, you wouldn't get any consultants in.
No, get rid of them.
Right.
I'm just saying, when he takes power, remember.
We haven't got that long a memory.
What's Baroness Bottomley of Nettlestone had to say this week?
Is that Virginia Bottomley?
Yeah, she wants people in Parliament to work from home less so that young people can teach grumpy older workers how to use social media properly. Ed, you're an older man who uses TikTok a lot. And having seen some of your TikToks, I think you could definitely do with some help in that department.
I don't understand. They just tell me to do it.
I mean, that's pretty apparent when you watch it, Ed. Well, let's have a look at some of your work.
I'm challenging Keir Starmer to play FIFA.
Oh, right.
Which apparently is something like Subbuteo.
Can't you send him a letter?
It's about bringing the boom.
The economic boom?
Mr. Rizzler.
Is that a drug reference?
You just got to give the boom to everybody. It's all about love.
Oh. Fair enough. What else is Keir Starmer reportedly ready to cut?
Can we see some more TikTok?
I would like to. Listen, if it was up to me, the whole show would be TikTok. His ties to Rachel Reeves.
What?
Well, yeah.
She's the Chancellor.
Well, she is. But according to John Rentoul in The Independent, Starmer now thinks the decision to cut winter fuel payments was a mistake.
God, he learns quick.
Yeah, like a lot of pensioners, he's got cold feet.
That policy, I don't know, I sort of admire, I don't agree with it, but I admire it, if you know what I mean, because I think there was a bit of resentment towards those of the older generation who voted for Brexit, which has caused a lot of problems.
Have you got any evidence for that?
But I sort of admire, they've gone, well, you caused that for us, and they've held on to that for so long, and they've gone, well, then now you can't be warm. I don't agree with it, but I admire their long game.
So revenge is a dish literally best served cold. What does Kemi Badenoch not have time for?
Lunch.
Yes.
Lunch is for wimps.
It is. Do you have lunch?
No. In fact, I haven't eaten anything since 1968. Don't believe in it.
She has steak.
Yeah, she does. She gets steak brought to her at her desk. Yeah, which makes her working class, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't she say something about sandwiches?
She did, yeah. Having bread at lunch is weird. Keir Starmer likes a cheese toastie at lunch. She likes steak raw, eaten off the floor. It was a big week for Lee Anderson on X. I'm going to show you a response he gave to someone this week. I want you to tell me what he was responding to.
Right.
His answer was, try the Battle of the Somme.
It's been a bit muddy this week.
Someone said that women have a lot of problems to deal with in lives, including menstruation and the menopause and childbirth.
Yes.
And he said, try the
Battle of the Somme.
I don't know if Lee knows this, but he wasn't in the Battle of the Somme.
I don't think anyone's disputing that being at the Battle of the Somme is worse than having your period. Like, no, I don't think anyone's disputing that, even hardline feminists.
Oh, no, to be honest, you didn't have to go to the Battle of the Somme every month.
Yeah.
That would have been worse.
This is the government's call for cuts to departmental spending as they try to deliver on their key targets. Keir Starmer has attacked the civil service for being comfortable in the tepid bath of managed decline. I think I've got that Morrissey album. Cabinet Office Minister Pat McFadden has echoed Dominic Cummings' call for government to work with more misfits and weirdos. Sounds like they're looking for a coalition. Ian and Rachel, here's yours.
Oh, good.
We get the comedy question. Syria.
They look relaxed, don't they?
Yeah, happy. Lammy doing his homework. Syria, Middle East.
That's going to take ages, isn't it?
He shouldn't have started on the building behind him. He's wasted time there.
This was possibly good news. I mean, British newspapers all run enormous headlines saying, what next for Syria? And tiny type it says, we don't know. Because no one does know, really. It's incredibly complicated. There's a very good foreign affairs correspondent called Patrick Cockburn, and he says that when other people are being very, very complicated about the foreign affairs of a country, you just listen for a while and then you say, but it's very different in the south. Everyone is suddenly an expert in this amazing group, the UHT, who've taken over.
The milk production, no.
They're the HTS.
Yes, the victorious HTS group are now in control of Syria, although according to the Financial Times, their leader, Abu Mohammed al-Jalani, has a massive bounty on his head. Surely in the heat that would melt.
It's unfair, because he's a nice moderate now.
Jalani?
Yeah, a few weeks ago he was radical Islamist lunatic, but now he's a Lib Dem, more or less.
Our friend, yeah.
He hasn't joined us yet.
They've won, and no one saw it coming. I mean, no one had any idea this was about to happen. And Assad has gone,
Yeah.
which is quite good news.
Yeah. But it's very different in the south. Where has Assad gone? Who's looking after him?
Putin. Yeah. Say what you will about Putin. He'll do anything for his friends.
Yeah.
Where will Assad and his family live?
Lowestoft.
They're going to live in the 20 or so apartments and houses that they already own in and around Moscow.
Oh.
The area he'll be living in is full of deposed dictators and their families. Slobodan Milosevic's family live there, the deposed president of Kyrgyzstan, Askar Akiev, Aslan Abashidze of Georgia, and the former Ukrainian president, Viktor Yanukovych. I mean, what a soap that would make.
Yeah, yeah.
Life enders.
Yes.
While we're on the subject of dictators,
Yes.
What did Kim Jong-un say about the South Korean crisis?
It's a lot different in the south.
He said Yoon Suk-yeol's declaration of martial law was an insane act, akin to a coup d'etat of the military dictatorship era. He brazenly brandished blades and guns of fascist dictatorship at his own people. Who does he think he is? Me? How has this all affected Putin?
I think he's feeling threatened because he's fighting another war.
He's attracted heavy criticism from inside Russia. Russia has been present in Syria since Soviet times, and Putin fucked it all up in 2 weeks. And for what? To take another village in Ukraine, said one Russian journalist whose widow has requested family flowers only. As you know, Ian, Keir Starmer loves the football. So why will he have been particularly excited to be in Saudi Arabia at this time?
This is the World Cup.
Yes.
Because the World Cup's going to be in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, 2034.
Was he trying to get some tickets early? But isn't it very hot?
But they'll play at night.
Oh, they play at night.
Yeah.
That's when the sun goes down.
I was going to ask
I've done
you.
a bit of research on this.
Well, OK, how can anyone see then?
They wear fluorescent shirts.
You really do know everything.
The Qatari World Cup was criticised for the lack of atmosphere, so maybe they should have got this guy in. This is Rob Walker, who warms up the crowd at the snooker.
Crowd are in good voice. They're pumped. They are ready. Anyone would think we're about to be treated to a disco inferno. You cannot predict anything at the shootout. That's why it's so good to watch. In fact, it makes you feel like you're born to be alive.
That's how we're ending the show.
He's an excellent dancer.
Hey, snooker's a lot more fun than I'd imagine.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the women are the only gender maintaining their dignity.
This is the downfall of the Syrian dictatorship, with Bashar al-Assad fleeing to Russia, where he's now living in the dacha next to Greg Wallace. Over the years, Assad has been courted by several world leaders. Cozying up to an evil warmonger with blood on his hands, what was Assad thinking? And so to round two, and lacking any ideas for the last show of the series, and in honour of the Lib Dems, we thought we'd do something cheap, tacky, ill-thought-out and slightly embarrassing. It's time for the publicity stunt of news. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Ian.
I read this because it's really important.
Yeah.
It was the Scrabble tournament in Spain.
Yeah.
And it was won by people who weren't Spanish.
Oh.
In Spanish. I think they were they Australians?
New Zealander.
New Zealand.
Yes. Here's the champion. He's called Nigel Richards. And he doesn't speak a word of Spanish.
How did he do this, then?
I don't know, he maybe repeatedly used the word "que." According to The Independent, Nigel spent a year memorising the Spanish Scrabble word list. However, he didn't actually pick up any conversational Spanish, so was unable to talk to his competitors. So at least they had something to be grateful for. In other linguistic news, what's wrong with a book written by Taylor Swift?
You can open the pages.
A book released to celebrate her Eras tour has been dubbed the Eras Book. And after fans found it was full of typos and even had some of the pages printed upside down. It hasn't been released here yet, but it's been flogged on eBay for more than £200. Oh, yeah, that got a gasp. It's still less to see her in concert, though, isn't it, Ed? If one did have to pay for tickets, that is. Did you get free tickets?
I did.
Yeah. Was it good?
It was fantastic.
Did you get free tickets from her or from a third party?
I got from the Football Association.
Really? Do you think they're trying to influence you on the regulator or anything? I'm just throwing this out.
Yeah. Well, I fully declare that, as you know.
Yeah. It's no good just declaring it. Not doing it's good.
Lastly, how's a spelling error at Morrison's in Wales caused upset this week?
They like their double L's, don't they, in the Welsh language, and double D's in the Welsh language. So I don't know.
Their Aberystwyth store was battered by high winds recently, which knocked some of the letters off the Morrison's sign. Here it is.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Fingers on buzzers, teams.
This is Trump in Paris, the reopening of the Notre Dame Cathedral after the terrible fire there several years ago. Him and Macron shared a very strange handshake. Whenever they meet, Trump's always trying to do a power handshake with him, and Macron's well prepared, so they were sort of like kind of grappling sort of somewhere around like this. Very strange.
This is how it went.
You dancing?
Trying to keep him away from his wife.
They did have another go at it later. Here's how that went.
bloke on the left in the funny hat is going, here we go again.
He was very complimentary, Trump, to Macron about the restoration of Notre Dame. He told him, you have no idea how good a job you did on that chapel. That's very hard to do.
All right, the master builder.
Yeah. Also, Macron's the president, Donald. He's not a bricklayer. At the time of the fire, though, Trump made some comments on Twitter.
What did he say? Burn, baby, burn.
No, he actually tweeted some very helpful advice.
Oh, did he? Sorry.
Yeah. He said, perhaps flying water tankers could be used to put it out. Must act quickly. Well, the idea of the French firemen going, oh, yes! Allez, vite! Notre Dame also has a new altar, which looks like a large, well, half a large wheel of cheese.
Oh.
Notre Dame.
They've got new bells as well.
Have they?
Baby bells.
This is the reopening of Notre Dame after the fire 5 years ago. According to The Telegraph, during the ceremony in Notre Dame, President-elect Trump met Prince William and shared some fond memories about the late Queen, to which William replied, that's very kind, but in Britain we don't call them hooters. Time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. They are Cliff Richard, King Charles III, Donald Trump and Heston Blumenthal.
Is it singing?
It's to do with Christmas.
Could we have a clue that includes the answer?
The answer is they have all released something unusual for Christmas, apart from Cliff Richard, who's revealed an unusual Christmas recipe. What does Cliff Richard produce at Christmas that upsets people? Do you have any idea?
A calendar.
No. Oh, gosh, no. Do you know what it is? It's gravy.
Gravy?
Gravy, yeah.
It's gravy?
What does Cliff Richard put in his gravy at Christmas?
Like meat juice?
Yeah, meat juice.
No.
Meat juice, meat juice.
He hasn't... Stop shouting meat juice at
Well,
people.
that's a better term than for gravy, isn't it?
Right, according to The Telegraph, Cliff mixes 8 stock cubes of different flavours, chicken, lamb, beef and vegetable, with an undisclosed amount of teriyaki sauce, sweet soy sauce and Worcestershire sauce to create a gravy that he describes as custard thick. And if you want to recreate Cliff's gravy at Christmas, why? Heston Blumenthal, he's charging an eye-watering £45 for a mail-order pudding. What is special about Heston's pudding?
It's made out of something bizarre, like bleach and organic trousers.
Yes.
Well, inside Heston's pudding...
Snails.
Sixpence.
A concealed mandarin.
What, like a Chinese emperor?
Or the cabinet secretary. What does King Charles release for Christmas?
Biscuits.
No.
Gold mince pies.
No. Well,
Non-fungible tokens.
there might be a... He's selling boxes of royal Christmas crackers.
Oh.
For 65 quid for a box of 6.
65 quid.
Yeah, what do you think you get for 65 quid? What's in them?
Kent.
And finally, Donald Trump.
Free of fragrance, isn't
A
it?
fragrance.
Yeah.
He's released a fragrance at $199 a bottle. Do you know what it's called?
Is it the smell of corruption?
Is it called Gullible? For men.
It's called Fight, Fight, Fight. Why might Trump have decided to release a perfume?
So he thought that perhaps he wasn't going to win and that this would be, it would, you know, start the commercial ball rolling on various other enterprises.
Well, it's insurrection by fragrance.
Yes.
That would have been a good name, wouldn't it? Insurrection.
Yeah, that would be good.
That'd be much better.
Much better.
Yeah.
Sausage.
Did you say sausage in a French accent?
Yeah. What about it?
Yeah, it's good.
Meat juice.
That's not going to sell any.
That's the tagline, isn't it?
Oh, I bet that's what it smells of.
Well,
God, I bet
apparently...
I bet it smells of meat juice and gun smoke and possums.
Many people close to Trump claim that he stinks. Various reports suggest that Trump is a nasal nightmare with the aroma of armpits, soiled diapers, makeup, ketchup and hot dog burps, which are also more ingredients for Cliff's gravy. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Pantomime magazine. And we start with scientists exploring whether mistletoe could be used as what?
A nuclear deterrent? Minister for the Environment?
It's contraceptive, isn't it? We've covered every option available.
Yeah, I'll give you the answer. Scientists exploring whether mistletoe could be used as a form of surgical glue. Oh. In fact, as far back as 50 BC, Roman author Pliny claimed mistletoe was used to trap birds. Easy, Pliny, mate, you can't say that anymore. Next, China shocks world by making frog what?
Sexually attractive to humans.
Is it into gravy?
China shocks world by making frog popular new pizza topping. But don't worry, once it's been put on the pizza and popped in the oven, you wouldn't know it was frog. Look at the thighs. He didn't miss leg day, did he?
Never mind, look at the thighs. Look at his eyeballs.
Finally, if you're a pantomime actor but have aspirations of playing Hamlet, what?
Stop it.
If you're a pantomime actor but have aspirations of playing Hamlet, try playing Mother Goose. Ed, you made a guest appearance in an Amdram version of Snow White.
I didn't
you? Here you are. We've got a picture of you.
Oh, you're joking.
Yeah, you're on the far right, for a change.
How did you get that?
Oh, I don't know. If any of the major parties want to know where Ed is polling, he's behind you. So, the final scores. Ian and Rachel have 4, but this week's winner are Paul and Ed with 7. And before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
This is the second disc I've slipped this week.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Rachel Parris, Paul Merton and Ed Davey MP, and I leave you with news that in Norfolk, one woman has been so traumatised by the events of the last 2 years that she believes she has an invisible ventriloquist doll called Mr. Corky. In a Swindon quick fit, there's a terrible mix-up when a customer asks for new tyres to be put on their old Panda. And there's scandal in Westminster as a leading politician is caught washing his crutch in front of a woman. Good night.
New tomorrow, Michael McIntyre's 25th year stand-up special, the sold-out hit show on BBC One at 8:35. Laughs from Christmases past with comedy legends on iPlayer. The Two Ronnies sketchbook. Press red to watch now.